What if everything you thought about overthinking is wrong? You know, imagine standing outside at night holding the world's most powerful searchlight. Wherever you point it, that's all you can see. So if you shine it on beauty, you notice beauty everywhere because that's what you're primarily focusing on. But if you point it at something that's dangerous, suddenly danger is your focus and it seems to be everywhere. It starts to play with your mind. You know, every shadow becomes suspicious. Every noise becomes a threat. Every tiny problem, it feels enormous. And that's what overthinking is. It's not that life suddenly became dangerous. It's that your brain simply became obsessed with what it's focusing on. And once it starts searching, it finds more and more evidence that something must be wrong, even though in reality it isn't. But here's what most people don't realize. Your brain is only doing what it was designed to do, what it evolved to do. It's trying to keep you safe and keep you alive. Unfortunately, it's using a survival system designed for a world that no longer exists. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why your brain refuses to switch off. And I'll show you 3 powerful mental shifts that can stop overthinking before it starts to spiral out of control. And the second one completely changed the way I deal with my anxious thoughts. So make sure you stay for that. Okay, the first one, controlling your thoughts. You know, your mind thinks thoughts 24/7. It's just the way our brains are wired. It's constantly remembering, judging, analyzing, comparing, desiring, worrying, and catastrophizing. It's like a machine with no off switch. And it's the first thing that we must become aware of. But here's the truth that changes everything. A thought isn't a fact. A thought is not a fact. It's just a made-up concept in your brain. It's a passing thought. It has no power unless you give it the power and react to it. And the moment you actually realize that, seriously, just think about it. The moment you realize that, you stop being a passenger and you become the driver. You start taking control. And it's not about fixing your thoughts. It's not forcing positivity. It's just noticing the thoughts, noticing them, becoming aware of them and catching them out. So ask yourself, these thoughts that I'm thinking, are these thoughts 100% true? Or are they just projected thoughts that piss me off or ruin my day? So for the next 24 hours, I want you to do one thing. Every time a negative thought shows up, don't fight it. Just acknowledge it and say to yourself, that's just a passing thought. It's not a fact. And that's it. Sounds simple, right? But this one shift can actually make a huge difference in your life. You'll be surprised at how many times you actually do this. So your brain has spent years running the same programs on autopilot. It's not trying to hurt you. It's trying to protect you based on your outdated information. But the moment you become aware of a thought, you create space. And in that space, you get to choose. Get to choose what you focus on. Choose what you believe. Choose who you become. But here's the crazy part. What if I told you that trying harder to stop overthinking is actually making it worse? And that leads me on to phase 2, the psychological illusion of productivity. So why is overthinking so addictive? Because it pulls a psychological magic trick on your brain, on your mind. It mimics productivity. So when you ruminate on a problem, your brain gets a bit of a dopamine hit, a hit of satisfaction because it feels like you're working on a solution. But there's a massive difference between doing something and ruminating about it. Problem solving is straightforward. You see a leak, you find a wrench, and you fix it. Rumination is a closed circle. You stare at the leak. You wonder why it's leaking. You stress about the cost. You imagine the house flooding, but you never actually pick up the fucking wrench and fix it. This internal cycle is the single most draining thing a human being can experience. And I know this from first-hand experience. It consumes massive amounts of your daily energy, leaving you chronically tired, physically sluggish, and needing to sleep 8 to 10 hours a day just to recover from absolutely nothing outside your own skull. The root cause of all this mental exhaustion comes down to a single principle: over-identification. Think about it this way. If a cloud passes over your head, you don't look up and say, "I am a cloud." You just recognize that a cloud is moving through the sky. But when a dark, anxious thought passes through your mind, you immediately step inside it. You say, "This thought is me. I am anxious. I am a failure. I am not good enough." And the moment you identify with that passing weather of your mind, you give it the power to rule your body. And to break the cycle, you have to transition your focus from a reactive mindset, why is this happening to me, to a proactive mindset. What small step can I take right now that I know will help me get closer to resolving this issue or closer to my goal? And that leads me on to phase number 3. The big realization and emotional connection. If you take only one lesson away from this video today, just one, let it be this. Pain in life is unavoidable, but suffering is optional. The pain of a difficult text, a marriage breakup, loss of money, loss of a career, it's all real. I've felt it. But the weeks, months, or years of agony you spend replaying it over and over again in your mind before it happens or agonizing over it after it happens, well, that is suffering. That's suffering you're actively generating internally in your mind. So the next time your brain kicks into absolute overdrive, pause. Take a deep breath. Instead of letting the panic run wild, speak directly to that old protective mechanism inside your brain. You can literally tell yourself, "Hey mind, I see what you're doing. Thank you for trying to keep me safe, but I've got it from here. I am safe right now." And every single time you choose an immediate real-world action over a comfortable mental loop, you start to build brand new neural pathways in your mind. So remember, overthinking isn't the problem. Believing every thought is. So notice your thoughts, but stop identifying with them all. Then replace rumination with action. Those 3 habits alone can completely change your relationship with your own mind and your life. Thanks so much for watching. Breaking a lifelong habit of overthinking doesn't happen overnight, but it starts with a single step. So if you've been struggling with overthinking, self-doubt, or feeling stuck, I offer a free 30-minute mindset breakthrough session where I'll identify the biggest mental patterns holding you back and map out practical next steps. So if that feels like something that you'd like to do, please click on the link on the description below. Click on the Work With Me description. And if you'd like to watch my next video, please click on the link here. Peace out. See you in the next video.